Hey guys, do you know what I like to do when John Mangini challenges me to show some of my best cards? I like to look at some baseball cards. Before we get to the main attraction, which is the cards, I want to take a minute to talk about why I collect cards and why I love collecting cards. To me, cards tell a story. They tell the story of a player, they tell the story of a team, they tell a story of a place in history, but more importantly, they also tell a story about the people that collect them. I think you learn a lot about a person's personality by understanding and knowing what they collect. So now on to the show, which is the cards. The first card is a non-sports card. It's 1977 Wonder Bread Star Wars card of Luke Skywalker. It's card number one in the set. I've always liked the black border of this set. It's a set. Actually, it's the first set that I collected actively as a child. I would go to the grocery store with my mom and look through all the Wonder Bread packages to get the cards that I needed for the set. Always loved this card. Next card is a 2000 Fleer Ultra Gold Medallion of Kobe Bryant. What I like about this card is it shows a picture of Kobe, a jubilant Kobe, jumping into the arms of Shaq right after they won their very first championship together. What I like about this is it was the first of their three-peat, and there aren't too many teams that have actually three-peated before. You have the 1952 through 1954 Minneapolis Lakers. You have the Boston Celtics from the late 50s, early 60s, or mid 60s, who won 8 straight championships. You have the Michael Jordan led Bulls of the 90s, who did it 3 times. And then this team, they were the last to do it. This is an N162 1888 card of from the Goodwin and Champions set. This is actually the first football card that was ever produced. This is Harry Beecher. He was a quarterback. He was the captain of the Yale Bulldog team. I think there's somewhere around 50 to 75 believed to be in existence for this card. This card is from the 1935 National Chickle set. This is of Turk Edwards, who played for the Washington Redskins. He's a Hall of Famer. I just love the sweater that he's wearing. Just a great Art Deco card that just a great style with colors that really pop on this card. Interesting tidbit about him is his career actually ended when he was doing a coin toss. He called the coin toss before a game, pivoted to turn to go back to the bench, and his cleats got stuck in the grass and he tore his knee up and never played again. This is a 1951 Ken Carpenter, 1951 Bowman Ken Carpenter card. I just love the colors of this, that orange and yellow background, and it's a great backdrop to the Brownie Elf logo in the bottom corner there. And Ken Carpenter was actually the first Cleveland Brown player to be drafted in the NFL draft when they were an NFL franchise. This is a 1952 Bowman Large card of George Taliaferro. Real quick tidbit about the 1952 Bowman football cards. They made both a small version and a large version. With the recent success of 1952 Topps baseball cards, they decided to experiment and to see what would be more popular among collectors. Would it be the smaller version or the big version? I think it's pretty obvious that it was probably the bigger version, because you actually see less of the smaller version on the open market today. And 1952 was the last year that Bowman produced the small size cards for either football or baseball cards. From that same set, you have Slinging Sammy Baugh. who kind of revolutionized the passing game for the NFL. He was one of the greatest quarterbacks of all time, but not only that, he may have very well been the greatest punter of all time. He actually is second all time for yards per punt average, and actually still holds the single season high mark record for a little over 51 yards per kick. I think he did that in 1940. He also had one of the greatest seasons in football history in 1943. He led the league in pass completions. He also led the league for punting average. And also, as a defensive back, he had 11 interceptions. This is one of my favorite cards from the 1955 Bowman football set of Bobby Dillon, who recently was inducted into the Hall of Fame in the last 2 or 3 years. I just love the bright green uniform with the gold numbers and the gold pants with the yellow background. Just a great looking card. I don't know what it is I like about this card, but there's something about it, just the old-time feel of it. John Henry Johnson, who was a part of the San Francisco 49ers million-dollar backfield, which also included quarterback Y.A. Tittle, Hugh McElhenney, and also Joe the Jet Perry. There's just something I love about this card. It looks like he just put on his helmet. You've got that old-style football helmet, that old 49ers uniform, and he's got that smile on his face. This is his rookie card, and it's amazing how inexpensive and easy it is to pick up this great Hall of Fame rookie card from the 50s. This is one of my favorite cards in my collection, and one of my all-time favorite sets too, the 1955 Topps All-American set. For anybody that collects this set or has tried to hunt this card down, you know that it's a very tough card to find centered. It's notoriously known to be hard on centering, left to right or right to left. Just a tough card to find centered, so I was really happy to find this one, and this is actually one of my favorite cards that I own. This is a 1956 Topps Elroy Crazy Legs Hirsch. He has some of the best poses for football cards from the 50s. I just love this card with the red background. My favorite player as a kid growing up was Tony Dorsett. This is a game-used patch autograph card, and this one is numbered to 10, numbered 9 out of 10. On to some baseball cards. This is a 1887 Allen and Ginter Jack Glasscock card. To me, he should be in the Hall of Fame. He was one of the greatest shortstops ever. They actually called him King of Shortstops, and actually had over 2,000 hits too when they didn't play as many games. He was actually the 6th player in Major League Baseball history to collect 2,000 hits. What needs to be said about this card? This is a second-year Hank Aaron card, 1955 Topps. Just one of the best sets out there. I've always liked this card of a young Hank Aaron. My favorite baseball player growing up was Pete Rose. I'm a big fan of the 1964 Topps card. I think it's one of the greatest, most beautiful cards that was ever made, honestly. And definitely one of the top ones for Pete Rose. And I also just love the Rookie Cup cards. Not much needs to be said about this one. Just a great card, 1976 Topps traded Oscar Gamble. I think most people that have seen this card have this on one of their all-time favorite lists. had a tough time deciding between this Rickey Henderson card and a 1981 Donruss Rickey Henderson card. I went with the 1982 Topps because, as you can see here, he's leading off first base. And you just look at the look on his face as he looks to be staring down the opposing pitcher, putting fear into the opposing pitcher. 1982 was a great year for him. He stole a record that still stands today and will probably never be broken, of 130 bases. He stole 130 bases in a season. He also, for his career, stole 1,406, another record that I don't think will ever be broken, and also had 81 times in his career where he led off a game with a home run. To me, the most beautiful baseball card there is, 1956 Topps Mickey Mantle. A young Mickey Mantle from his Triple Crown year. He won his first of back-to-back MVPs, and the Yankees also won the World Series that year. Thanks for watching this video.